Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730.
My BFF Jill 730.
I'm Preston L. Young.
And I'm Tüz for all intents and purposes.
Duh.
And today we are going to be embarking on a new journey into the Buffyverse. I've already done my Season 8, Season 9, Season 10, Season 11 coverage, but now we are going to go back and I wanted to talk to the world about Buffy through you, Tüz.
Exactly.
Because Tüz is no stranger to Buffy, but she's kind of just acquaintances with the comic books. She has a mutual friend with the comic books, but for the most part,
yes, I do.
She doesn't. You don't know about like the minutia of the comic books and like what's actually going on to lead you to these grand punchlines that I'm giving to you that you're just like,
Waiting with bated breath, obviously. So I know everything there is to know about the seasons per se, and that's actually how Preston and I first got acquainted, as you can tell.
Okay, so like quick short story. I got home from New York. I was there for a week.
You're gonna tell this story.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell the story. So
we're telling the story.
So I'm like 19 years old, and I had spent a week in New York with my family. And I immediately, as soon as I get home, I call up my friend Wesley, and I'm like, dude, I just got back in town. I've spent a week with my family. So I'm like, just let yourself in. I'm in my room unpacking, whatever. So he gets over. We're in my bedroom for about 5 minutes while I'm unpacking and telling him about New York and like all this good stuff, whatever. And he's like, oh, there's someone I want you to meet. And I'm like...
Spoiler alert, it's me.
Spoiler alert.
It's me.
And so I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So he leads me out of my bedroom and into the living room, and splayed across my couch is this 6 foot what?
6'1".
6'1" blonde bitch just sprawled out on my couch like, what's up, dude?
Yeah, actually, I just, I felt at home.
Made herself right the fuck at home.
And I sure did, and it was...
And she never
awesome.
left.
I've been here ever since, still living on this couch.
So anyway, one day, I think I was like going out to the park, or we were at the park, and I whip out a bunch of Buffy comics, and this is how I found out that Tüz loves Buffy.
Yes.
And so tell them like how you met Buffy, why you love Buffy, like why you stuck around, and how you know her.
Okay, so I found Buffy when I was very young. I only found her when I was 11. And so in the mornings when I got ready for school, it was between like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I could watch reruns, and FX was my favorite channel at the time.
And FX, at this point, it was post season 5, because once they hit 100 episodes, they can put the show into syndication.
Yeah.
And so you're watching it from pretty much the beginning after season 5. So you're literally 6 years behind everybody else.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, I didn't know what it was. I'm a late bloomer. I was very far behind in the seasons, but I was drawn to it. I was drawn to the allure of Buffy, and I was able to watch it every morning for 2 hours during the reruns.
And didn't you hate when it was getting to be like 7:45 and you knew you had to go to school?
Yes. Oh no.
Did you have a VCR? Did you record it?
No, I didn't have a VCR.
I recorded it in my bedroom.
I didn't have all that fancy stuff. I had to wait around like everybody else back then, praying the TV will come on and just my show will be there waiting for me. So that's what I did, and I watched it. And then when it actually came back in and they're like doing the seasons, and waiting every night, 2 seasons, Monday through Friday, and I'm finally caught up. And at season 8. Oh, so
you watched season 6 as it was airing?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I got to see all the seasons, and I thought that was it. After the Scythe came out and all the girls at the power, I thought we were done. Done-a-roo. That was the end of Buffy. We were dead in the ground, okay? And like Buffy, rising from the grave.
And the vampires that she dusts, they rise from the grave as well.
Yes, very true.
That's why Buffy is the vampire slayer.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So funny. Exactly. Comics came out, and Preston is like, the lore of all knowledge. Lo and behold.
I should put some heavenly music behind it right now.
Yes, it would be perfect.
And so, actually, the way that... So, like, my story with Buffy, like short punchline, I saw season 3, my sister, some friends of hers in junior high had told her about this show. They were like, you should watch it. And so I watched it with my sister because she was in charge, because she's older. And so, like, whatever, it was Faith, Hope, and Trick. It was the first episode with Faith in season 3. And so, like, I immediately fell in love with the show because I liked all the dynamics. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on here. But we
were rolling with this train.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening.
So I basically just, like, fell in love with this show, and I didn't really know why. But anyway, like, time goes on, like, whatever, I love the show, I get all the show on DVD, like, whatever. And I'm literally sitting in a tree stand in 2006. It was the winter of 2006.
Cold winter, that was.
/ winter of 2007. And so I had recently found out that my phone could browse the internet, and I'm like, I'm gonna use the internet on my phone because I'm fucking bored in Alabama in a goddamn tree stand freezing my balls off. So anyway, I'm looking around and I had known that the show was over and there were all these rumors about season 8, but they kind of died off eventually, whatever. So I just was like musing to myself, and I searched on my phone when I figured out I could use the internet, Buffy season 8, and that's when I saw that this was happening for real, and it was going to be in the spring of 2007, and I was like, motherfucker, here I come. Like, it was on like Donkey Kong, and I remember the day that issue was released, I went to the comic book store for the second time, because the first time was to make sure that he was going to be selling that comic book in his store.
There you go.
And that's how I met Rob, and now, like, once a month I bring him bags, because he's short on bags, and if you're in Montgomery, you should go to Capital City Comics and take Rob some bags.
He needs them.
Yeah, he does.
Please help me.
Anything else you want to say about, like, Buffy, or why you liked it? Oh, who was your favorite character? That's what I wanted to ask you.
Oh my gosh.
Like, off the top of your head, you were giving Spike a big talk outside.
Yeah, no, I definitely love Spike. He's great.
I believe in you, Spike.
He's really got a lot going on with him, and we were just discussing that outside, with his backstory from Drusilla and how he's just grown into this wonderful character that you didn't really expect to have much come from, but yet here he is, still such an intricate part, not fading away into the background, as we see in the comics.
Not amazing. Fade Away is actually the very last episode of Angel's title, by the way. So you're super on point, even though that's what I love about you. You're so, like, there. All right. And so, without further ado, let's put on our Fred glasses and get into our first episode of History Buff.
Is it difficult or time-consuming?
It's called hysteria, the world premieria. We dare ya to watch hysteria. Prepare ya for hilaria. They love it in Bulgaria, hysteria. We declare ya, be aware ya. The laughter's gonna marry ya, we swear ya. It's hysteria. It's set for hysteria. We're racing through time in search of comedy. We're gonna make fun of history with superstars from every century. Here on Hysteria, it's hysterical, historical. Here's Big Guy Baby, he smells horrible. With Father Time, Love Kiddington. Misinformation, world's oldest woman. Mix toast and pepper with charity. Add Froggo and the others get hilarity. Revolutionary, it's time for Hysteria. Hysteria.
I kind of caught that as you were saying it, and we're going to do it now.
All right, so I will be reading from my floppies because they are very old, and I'll be mad at Tüz if she breaks them, and less mad if I break them myself because they're my responsibility. And so, Tüz, what you will be reading from is my Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8, Library Edition, Volume 1.
Ooh.
I think it covers...
It's huge.
Yeah, it's big. That's what they say.
That's what they say. Exactly.
And I'm gonna take the jacket off, but real cute,
No,
like Willow,
absolutely. No,
Buffy and
love 'em.
Faith, girl power, whatever. And we're gonna take this off just because it bothers me.
Yeah, no, we're taking that off.
All right, and I love the inward cover of the book because it's
Absolutely.
Buffy, and it's from one of my personal favorite moments in the book. And so I'm gonna move the ribbon so that you won't be able to go past the arc that we're just going to be discussing today.
Fantastic.
I don't want you to be spoiled. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This video will be full of spoilers. Spoiler alert.
I'm not allowed to be spoiled apparently now because the comics are just too good for me. So I'm just gonna learn together. Some of you may
She's
be
just
learning
not good
right
enough.
now. Oh.
She's. I mean,
He'll
I
fully
know
get it.
better people, but
But yet here we are. So have it that.
I wanna know that.
so anyway, all right. So you can read anything up to the ribbon. I'm gonna take this dollar bill out. I don't know why it's in there.
Aw, is that the tip?
Yeah, that's your tip. Thanks for
Thanks for
thanks
sticking
for
it.
stopping by the Buffyngton Post. We give $5 to every guest.
That's not true. He doesn't give $5.
No, I don't care.
Yes.
Shit. And so we are going to be going through the first arc, which is The Long Way Home. And we're going to start, as always, at the beginning. Alright, so on the cover we got Buffy, and she's just got her scythe over her shoulder like, it's no big thing. Oh yeah, show yours, because it's way bigger.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's no big thing being Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've even got a t-shirt. I've got branding deals now. And so, like, whatever. She just looks great, and she kind of looks like Sarah Michelle Gellar, but enough not like Sarah Michelle Gellar so that
She looks
you
like
know.
a badass.
So that you know, like, we're in the comics now. Like, here we are, we're in the comics. I'm not quite who you left me as, but whatever. And so we look at the first page, and it says, you don't have to play second grade teacher to everybody. It's fine.
That's cool. I won't.
I mean, if you want to, that's totally cool.
No, that's cool.
But, so you look at the first page, and it says, the thing about changing the world is, once you've done it, the world's all different. And so keep in mind, it's been a year since Buffy created all of those Slayers. We were picking up 1 year later. So everything that happened during Angel Season 5
Yeah.
happened before we're picking up with her now, okay?
Okay.
So Angel, toward the end of Angel Season 5, Fred died, from our Fred glasses.
Yes.
So-
I've
so-
seen all of Angel, by the way. Just
Oh yeah,
to
she's
do
on.
that
She's on
backstory
it.
as
Yeah,
well.
we're
Absolutely.
Buffyverse accredited. And
Absolutely. Got my AAA card.
And so you remember Fred died, and they were like, "Oh, we know who can bring people back from the dead, Willow." But they couldn't get Willow because Willow was on the astral plane. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay, so keep that in mind. So we're picking up a year after Buffy season 7 ended, and basically maybe like a month after Angel season 5 ended, ish. Okay.
Ish.
Okay, so Buffy says the thing about changing the world is once you've done it, the world's all different. And the world's super different because, as you can see, Buffy is not only jumping out of a helicopter,
Yep.
but she's jumping out with 3 other Slayers, and they have all these high-tech weaponry situations, and it's fucking...
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it's not how we left Buffy. And this is the only page that George's Genty signs in this entire arc. I looked through the entire arc, and this is the only page that he signs. It's an entire, great big splash page. This is where we have to play second grade teacher. It's this great big splash page, and it's the second page
There's
of the
a lot
book.
going on here.
And so you are dropped into this world. And it's kind of oh shit, here we are. Buffy is totally different
Back
from
in
where we left
action.
her. Yeah, we're back in action, but the action is taken on this other...
This whole new realm
Yeah.
of whatever is going on here.
Alright, so we move in. Buffy and her Slayers, they use their super whatever weapon, gun, laser bullshits to go through this force field that's around this church, and they are kind of talking to somebody back at headquarters, and whatever, they're making...
Recon mission.
Yeah,
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
They're doing something.
And so, we find out that, that everybody calls Buffy ma'am these days because, she's the Slayer in charge. If you want to read through, feel free. But, what we find out is that we have 2,000 Slayers in the world, so far as they've counted. They have about 2,000 Slayers in the world, and they have about, I want to say, 500
With them at the moment.
Is that what they said, 500?
I believe so.
Oh yeah, almost 500 working with Buffy's army that she's basically assimilated all over the world in 10 squads. And so Buffy basically has an army all over the world.
Oh no, she has the army of the world.
And
they all.
And so anyway, Buffy is saying that, you know, all this stuff has changed, but she's still got a mission and she's still got her watcher. And so we turn the page as Buffy kind of crashes into this church with her slayers, not really, kind of whatever. And so we find Xander in the control room somewhere, and he is who they are talking to on this like comm link.
Intercom, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you see, like, they've got all this high-tech stuff, and then, you know, they've got witches here and shit, and they're, like, working psychic mojo to, like, figure out what's going on with the people in the church that Buffy and company are going after.
Absolutely.
And so Xander is kind of, like, flirting with this one slayer, Renee, okay? And so she looks super cute because she's got, like, a short haircut. She appears to be, like, mixed or African American, and she's got like this one long feather earring, and so like Renee's super cute, and we get this super cute banter wherein Renee is referring to Xander as Nick Fury because of course he has the one eye.
Yeah, that's all I got. Eye exam.
Yeah, and so then Buffy like busts into this church. There are these huge demons. They are super big, and they are super like lizardy. And like right now, the demons pretty much stay lizardy. They kind of look like they have these like big fish mouth, but almost like raptor mouth. But they
like
also
tendrils and tentacles of some sorts.
And they have these tentacles on them. And something that we'll find later is that like all the fucking demons, as we get into like seasons 9 and 10, they're all just like tentacly as fuck. It's ridiculous.
So they're all just tentacly?
Yeah, it's weird. But anyway, so Buffy like bursts in and she starts dealing with these demons that have these human hostages in this church or whatever, and so she and her other slayers like busting it up, but she's worried about these other slayers because this is the first time that they've encountered like dead humans, like it's their first like human victims. And so like what happens is Buffy's like, I gotta get them through this, I gotta power them through this, and like you can go ahead, you can read as much, like you can flip through that as much as you want, like whatever.
Okay.
And so, so what Buffy does is she's talking to these demons, and they're like, "Oh, little girl, you don't even fucking know." And
yeah, it's pretty much saying that we're not demons at all. They look just like some hideous ass monsters.
No, they're definitely demons, but like Buffy, they're in this like church, this cathedral type church, and so she picks up this great big cross from, I guess, like.
The church, yeah.
Yeah, like in the church.
Yeah.
And she takes it, and the demon's like, "Oh, girl, I'm not a vampire. I'm not afraid of the cross." And then she smashes him, like, straight through the forehead, like David and Goliath style. And she's like, "You might want to start." And so, like, whatever.
She's killing. She's just straight killing right now.
Yeah,
that's what it seems to be in the first couple pages she's gotten.
Yeah, she's just on it, like, white on my ass. And so, so in this page, Leah... The Irish or Scottish, I'm not really sure which, we'll call her Irish just because of the Irish stereotype of having red hair.
Absolutely. Exactly.
And so she goes, "That were a wee bit repulsive." And Buffy's like, "Yeah, I just don't know how good I feel about using a crucifix to kill something." And Leah goes, "You don't know much about religion, do you?" So anyway, there are these dead humans in there that were like trapped in there with the demons, right? And it looks like the demons were keeping them hostage. And so they have this symbol carved into their chests. And Buffy says that she thinks it was self-inflicted, and we don't really know what is with that.
It looks like a second grade painting right there. That's why it's just finger painting.
Well, whatever works.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously getting the job done, but they're dead.
And so anyway, like, it looks like this might have something to do with something. And so Buffy is talking to Xander on their like intercom system, what the heck ever. She's like, "Hey, I'm sending you this image. Send it to Giles and see what you can find." And so we find out that Giles is still like out and about and helping Buffy, and like things are good. But I'm sure you're wondering about these floaty boots, right?
Yeah, what is going on over here?
Okay, so while Buffy is talking about how she doesn't really know what the deal is with this symbol and why they would carve it into their own chests and why they wanted to be in there talking to these demons, we find out that they were the ones who created the force field. They had this machine that was creating the force field around the church. They wanted to be in there with the demons. They were having some kind of a meeting. And so while they're talking about how this is all fucking weird because humans and demons, like, historically do not get along, because Buffy is a history buff, which you should be.
Yes.
Somebody is listening to all of this, and they have these floaty boots and a long coat. So that's new.
It's just nearby.
Yeah.
A listener nearby.
Yeah, those floaty boots. They're
We
crazy.
don't know what we're going to do about these bad boys.
Those floaty boots are bad.
Anyway, it segues into a completely different, non-related subject of where the girls are, and we do a cutscene to a helicopter, and it says, an army.
Yeah, Buffy's got an army, and so these dudes are from the US military. And basically, like, think about what would happen in the real world. Like, so basically, Buffy has said, okay, I've got 2,000 women in the world, and I gave them fucking
Unspeakable
superpowers.
power. Yeah, pretty much.
Like, fucking superpowers.
The best ever.
Okay, and I also have 500 of those girls working with me in an army in 10 countries all around the world.
She's networking hard.
She looks like a terrorist.
She does look like it.
And that's how the US government is treating her. And they say, look what she did to her hometown. That is Sunnydale. Sunnydale is now the Craterdale.
Look, they're giving her a bad rep, okay? This was not her fault, alright? It just happened to be where she was at.
No, we're 20 pages in, and we've already gotten 3? No, we've gotten 2 for sure splash pages, okay? A splash page, they usually save a splash page for, well, this is kind of a splash page. It doesn't really count as a splash page. This is a splash page. This one right here, like showing that one, like that's a splash page. When it takes up everything there and it's telling you what's going on, that's a splash page. So you usually only get one of those like per book, but here we have a completely new splash page. It's crazy, and we have scientists from the government down in the Craterdale, and they're just kind of investigating what the heck might still be down there. Okay.
I ask the questions around here.
And so, while one of them is down there, under the Craterdale, they are attacked by something. Something comes out, and they scream bloody murder so much that the people have to take their headphones off. It's fucking crazy. And so if you look, so there's the guy, but there's a reflection in his helmet.
Yes, you can see a reflection.
It looks like a very
He's in the
angry person.
Yeah, they don't look entirely. They look pretty dirty. Not human, definitely.
Yeah, they look not great. They're not in great shape.
Yeah.
All right, and so on the next page, we see Buffy, and she's basically talking with Xander. They're musing about what's going on with, this symbol, and she's like, I think it's a beautiful sunset.
Yep.
And Xander's like, I think it's a frown, turned upside down, and then turned back upside down. And then they're talking about Dawn, because apparently Buffy needs to talk to Dawn, but there's nothing that Buffy can do about Dawn, whatever that means, until they talk to Willow. So then it's like, where's Willow? And so we have to remember that Willow, your face when you turn that page. We have to remember that Willow has been out of the picture on the astral page. And so what Tüz just turned the page and saw for the first time is giant Dawn.
Okay, I did not realize this thing was still going on.
No, this is the first that it's going on.
This is the first that it's going on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is when we find out that this bitch is a giant.
Well, he told me about her like 4 years ago.
No, probably like 9 years ago.
Like 9 years ago. And he was like, Giant Dawn, Giant Dawn. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
whatever. Giant Dawn.
And now it's all coming back. Full circle, people. Full
This
circle.
is the first time we've seen Dawn since the show ended. And she is giant. And we get our third splash page of the issue.
Which is actually a beautiful page.
Oh, it's
I'm
really
loving
cool.
the artwork here.
Like the way that they show the passage of time, that this conversation is just kind of like picking up and picking up, and we're missing bits of it, but we're getting the punchlines. It's so smart, and it's really cool. And basically what Buffy and Dawn are talking about is like, apparently Buffy lives in a Scottish castle,
The best castle.
She's living in Scotland.
Yes.
With Xander and Giant Dawn, apparently, and all of these other Slayers. And
Probably
so,
the only place they could put her. I mean.
yeah. Well, I mean, they were already in the castle before this
yeah.
happened to Dawn. We find out, but basically, we find out on this splash page that basically that Dawn had supposedly slept with a Thrice-Wise. She was dating this this character called Kenny, who everybody was warning her was this demon called a Thrice-Wise, and we don't really know what that means. It's not like from the Buffy canon. It's just kind of like, go with it. We'll explain it later, maybe.
Yeah,
so
exactly, and they decided to do that in the comics.
And so for some reason, like the kind of repercussions, the consequences of sleeping with this Thrice-Wise might have been what turns Dawn into a giant. Like, all signs point to sex with Kenny makes Giant Dawn. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, there are always consequences to sex in Buffy. And so Buffy and Dawn are kind of like bantering back and forth because Buffy doesn't want to talk, or Dawn doesn't want to talk to Buffy about whatever happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, because it's clearly like sexy. And
yeah,
so
she's like,
and so she wants to talk to Willow. Have you found Willow yet? And they're like, no, we're still looking for her. Like, we can't find her because whatever.
She's out there in the astral plane.
Yeah.
So.
And so Buffy and Dawn like banter back and forth, and Buffy leaves, and she's like, your butt looks big in those giant pants.
Yep. I want to know how her clothes keep fitting her, but we're just going with it.
We're just going with it for now.
I
think that's what she was wearing when it happened to her. Yeah.
At least she does have clothes to wear. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
For real.
She could be like Alice in Wonderland over there. Without no clothes, you know. Anyways.
How did they make... Oh, well, her clothes grew with her in Alice in Wonderland, yeah.
And then in the one they just made, he made her some tiny little clothes and stuck it in the teapot for her.
Is that the one where she goes through time and shit?
With Johnny Depp? No, the first one.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see the second one. The first one wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
It's actually pretty good.
It's fine.
The second one was not... It didn't get good until the end, because I just thought the Mad Hatter was going mad.
Well, appropriately. But anyway, so what I really like about all of this is that, like, Buffy and Dawn, they're bickering, whatever, and Buffy leaves, and so she goes out onto this kind of, like, balcony terrace situation. In her
process.
In her fucking Scottish castle.
Thinking about life and what could have been, should have been.
Yeah, and so she's thinking about, like, oh, you know, I miss my home, I hate that that Dawn and I can't ever, like, get along. And she's like, I miss my mom. And I love this. And if you look, that's why I love the cover. Like the cover of the whole thing. It's that same image of Buffy being like, I miss my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I really love that. I love the look on her face because it's like, imagine your life changing like that so much over the course of a year.
I hate how they started that episode. I really did. It's like she literally just walked in, but I guess there's no really easy way to separate her mother.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is like from where we left Buffy in the show to where we find her here. To think that all of this, her living in a fucking Scottish castle, she's got a giant sister, she runs a Slayer army, all of that's happened in a year. You understand so deeply like why Buffy wants something familiar, why she wants something that feels like home, because everything she knows has been, she like took her life, turned it upside down and shook it, basically.
Yeah. But she had responsibilities yet again thrust upon her.
Yeah.
She had to take care of not only her sister but her family, which became these girls. And I'm sure as we go through the comics it'll explain a lot more, but right now that's really what I'm sensing from it, is that she's just trying to take care of her own.
Yeah, and like the thing is, we don't know how Buffy got this army. Like look at how we found her. She's jumping out of helicopters. How is she affording all of that? Where did she get this money? How did she acquire the Scottish castle? Like it's all like up in the air. Like
we're completely out of America. We just decided to go to a completely different.
And we find out that Buffy like misses being home and she misses her mom, but you know what she really misses? Sex. She misses having sex. She's like, great Muppety open. I miss that sex.
I bet she does with all them girls around there. The hormones are a-raging.
But what I like about it is she's like, all right, girl, you got to get yourself together. You're a big girl now.
Yep, you can't be thinking about all that other stuff.
All right, so down in the military base, like under the fucking Craterdale or whatever the heck, or like near the Craterdale, wherever they've got this base, we find out that there not only was there the one scary person that was in the reflection of the helmet, but there was another scary person down there with them. And apparently this other scary person is like super scary and like monstrous. It's crazy and nasty, okay?
Yeah, it looks pretty,
Well, whatever they're looking at, they do not like. Because
Yeah, they're not
General
wanting to,
Ball,
no.
he is like, oh, don't show me that. It looks crazy.
how is it alive?
Right. And so apparently, the one subject that they found, the one that initially approached them, was female. And they're calling this Nasty McNasty character her boyfriend. And they don't even want to think about how all that happened. But when they came upon... Oh, don't turn the page out. And so when they came upon... this person, you know, they were all down there, like, trying to figure out how they might be able to, like, defeat Buffy or what the heck ever, like, get to, like, what makes her army work or what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
And so, they went down there and they're talking about, like, magic and stuff and how magic breaks all the rules and how, like, with magic there are no rules. And, like, that's a serious problem for, like, humans. Like, magic is a problem because it has no rules.
Yeah.
And so, basically, when this person approached them, the first thing they said to this researcher was, I'm gonna help you kill her. And this person wants a super scientific lab for her boyfriend, and she wants a lot of cheese. And so the general is like, who is this crazy bitch? And now you can flip the page.
Oh my god.
It's Amy Madison.
She wants cheese.
Of course
What
she
else
wants
did
cheese.
she want?
Because she was a rat for so long.
She can't help it. And then is this kind of to signify an end
The end of the issue, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, Amy is down there with the government, and she's doing magic. Yeah, let's show them the page.
She's partying it up.
She's got her own party glow ball.
And she does not look like she's all there. She's got a couple screws missing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even this comic book can show how loose her nuts are.
No. She's not screwed on tight, kids.
Duh.
And so, anyway, like, when I first read it, I was like, really? I waited for 4 years for Amy to be my big bad? Are you fucking kidding me?
Amy's just been so irrelevant.
Well,
she just helped pass the time through the season.
The only season that she doesn't show up in is season 5, which is why, like, whenever I introduce people to Buffy, I'll tell them to watch the last episode of season 1, the one where Buffy dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
For anybody who hasn't watched Buffy, we're so sorry, and you really need to find another channel to go to because we are
Hit watch later and get back to us. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! So basically, I tell them to watch the last episode of season 1, the one where she dies, because like if there's something to like in Buffy, it's all kind of there, and if you like something there, it'll be there for you, and that'll tell you whether or not you like the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But normally I say start at the end of season 1 and go into season 2. But for Kelly, I give her season 5. It's the only season without Jonathan. It's the only season without Amy. Cordelia has been kind of dismissed. Angel comes back for like 1 episode. While there is a whole lot that you kind of need to understand, season 5 is kind of a fresh start, and it's got the biggest and best stuff in Buffy, and the things that you don't understand, they'll kind of explain to you in one way or the other.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Alright, so anyway, what do you think of our covers so far? We had this one, this one.
It was absolutely beautiful.
It's really beautiful, and this one, the likeness is even better to Sarah Gellar.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the big wig.
Yeah.
That one looks gorge. We're obviously making Xander
A badass. Look how much weight he lost over the course of that year.
I mean, he is doing pretty great, man.
Xander got so fat.
Yeah, he is looking gorge.
You're funny and you're nicely shaped.
Gorgeous.
Alright, so this is The Long Way Home, Part 2, and it picks up in England, and Giles is narrating to us in his inner monologue that he used to be a watcher. Dun dun dun! And he's talking about the big difference between how it used to be a Watcher. There was one Slayer in all the world, and they had a fucking council of Watchers. There was probably at least 200 of them all over the world. At least. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the Watchers Council was this whole thing, and whatever. And so now, things have changed for Giles. He's not got the same old job. He's having to watch, it looks like about 50 girls, at least.
Yeah, it's now one Watcher versus hundreds of Slayers. It's not hundreds of Watchers.
And remember, they blew up the Watchers Council. The First Evil and Caleb, they blew up the Watchers Council. And so they were all amassed there, and they were getting ready to take the fight to Sunnydale and help Buffy fight against the First Evil. But they got all blowed up. And Giles is pretty much one of the last Watchers. There are a couple more out there, but for all intents and purposes, he's our last Watcher.
They're not making them anymore. They're fresh out of Watchers.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's telling them that they all work well, but they don't work well together. They're good at fighting. They're good at the fighting, but they can't choreograph. They can't work together.
Assimilate and be one as a group.
Right, because the Slayer is, in every generation, there's a chosen one, right?
So they're all too busy being the one.
They're all trying to be the
without
one.
Without each other, they're like, I can't help you because I'm the one. No,
right.
I'm the one.
And the whole idea is that Buffy wanted there not to be a one. And because of this, we find that not only are Giles's Slayers in England not working well together, Buffy's Slayers in Scotland are not working well together.
Absolutely not.
She's like, you need to use the most powerful weapon that I've given you, and that's each other. But it kind of goes back to the idea of Faith.
Mind if I come in?
Buffy and Faith, they didn't work together. And Faith even says it in season 8. She says, there's only supposed to be one of us. Maybe that's why you and I can never get along. And then Buffy's like, also, you went evil and started murdering people, but
whatever. We're not going to look past all that.
But so the whole idea is that, the Slayers are just one Slayer.
That's it. You're only supposed to have one at a time. So when Buffy came back the first time, it wasn't meant to be.
Right.
But yet, we wouldn't have Buffy without it.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out that was meant to be. Dun dun dun. And so anyway, Buffy's changed the whole game, and she's like, I gave you this thing. I told the world that we would be better together, and you're proving me wrong, and you need to prove me right. And so then we pick up in Italy with Andrew. Do you remember Andrew?
Oh my gosh. He looks like so classic Andrew.
Yeah.
And I'm loving all of the artwork on this page. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so Andrew is, of course, our character who was part of the evil trio in season 6.
Yeah.
And then he turned good after he was taken hostage and all this good stuff. And so he's running his own squad of Slayers. He's like a mini Watcher. Now, we knew in season 5 of Angel, you remember when Angel and Spike went to Rome?
Yeah.
Andrew was there.
And then he just...
Oh, and that's the other thing that we skipped from issue 1. So, you remember Angel and Spike went to Rome and they kept trying to catch up with Buffy? Mm-hmm. And we just saw blonde hair flying around in the dance club?
Yeah.
Alright, so Buffy says that there are these other Buffy decoys. That because Buffy has amassed all of this power, that the gang thought that she might be a target. And so there's one Buffy, there's a Buffy decoy that is pretending to be Buffy in Rome, partying very publicly with that guy, the Immortal, that Angel and Spike have the past with, and that's why they were so upset that she was dating the Immortal.
Wow.
And it was Andrew's idea.
Of course it was. Was it Andrew?
It was probably one of Andrew's Slayers.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And so there's also another Buffy decoy that is underground, literally underground, going through the underworld and doing stuff down there. We'll pick up with her later.
Okay.
Alright, so in Italy we've got Andrew, and he's having this powwow with his Slayers, and he's talking about Lando Calrissian and his dorky costume and how dated it is and all this good stuff. And anyway, so the point that he was trying to get back to, that one of his Slayers asked him about, was, why don't we use guns? We are Slayers, why don't we use guns? And that's a good question.
It make it a lot easier, but then
see, the thing about it is, the way I come down on it and the way Andrew kind of comes down on it, but it doesn't explain it quite this way, is when you put a gun into a man's hand or into a woman's hand, it gives them power, right? The Slayers already have power. And so if they were to take the power of a gun, that would be too much power. Okay?
So they're really good. They don't need a gun.
They don't need a gun.
Yeah, you don't need a gun when you've got these awesome powers.
Yeah.
And magic working all through you.
Yeah, like they already have this very real power. They don't need a gun to have that power. But at the same time, Buffy got shot with a fucking gun, and it did kill her. She flatlined
That's
before
probably
Willow
why
pulled the
they
bullet out
don't
of her.
really use guns, because it's so quickly to make the wrong mistake. I mean, at least when you're staking a vampire.
And you saw what happened with Faith in season 3 when she staked that dude. If she had been able to just shoot
Willow's
him,
girlfriend got killed from a bullet. So pretty much, Buffy's showing us that bullets are bad.
Yeah, Buffy,
all the way around.
Buffy kind of doesn't like guns.
Power. I have it. They don't.
Alright, so then we see Xander and Dawn is bathing in a lake because she's a giant.
There's a lot to wash.
And now it's a little weird just because Dawn is bathing in a lake, and sure, Xander has his back turned, but
how can he not see something?
she's literally got giant boobs.
She literally has boobs the size of Xander.
And
how can he not see them?
And so, like, the weird thing is, she's naked around Xander, and again, like, he's got his back turned, and he's just talking to her or whatever. But it's a little weird. But then you have to remember that Dawn is by this point presumably 18 years old, because it's been a year since the end of season 7. Okay.
Yeah, but he's probably also went out there with her to make sure she doesn't like run out and expose herself, because he's like, as soon as I get normal, I'm out of this dump. So.
And so when you think about it, like Xander, if he and Buffy were turning 20 in season 5, then he's only 6 years older than Dawn.
So he would be 26.
So if Dawn is 18 at this point, then Xander would be 25. 25.
16.
Oh my god, my brain.
Even numbers.
That's why you did so well on your math test today.
Yes, I did. I did, and it was totally... Anyway.
So it's not that weird, because the older you get, the more you realize that age difference.
Age ain't number to number.
Age ain't number, y'all.
Okay.
Alright, so anyway, Xander and Dawn are talking about this and that and the other, and how
her sister's got her all jacked up.
Yeah, and Dawn is a giant, but Buffy has all these other sisters, and it's like, whatever, she doesn't have time for Dawn. And Xander's like, do you think that you just made yourself a giant on purpose, subconsciously, just to get some of Buffy's attention? And then Dawn does not like that, and she sends a great big splash wave over Xander because she's not going to put up with his bullshit.
Call me a crazy-ass, psychotic, lunatic bitch from hell. I don't give a damn.
So anyway, we leave Xander and Giant Dawn.
Yes.
And the general and this other government dude are going down into their situation. I don't know if it's in Craterdale. I don't know if they recommissioned. They couldn't have recommissioned the old Initiative place because it got all. It was part of Craterdale, right?
Anyway, this is just some off-site base, undisclosed location that they're using. It's like a front.
Yeah, it's somewhere out in the desert, presumably in the vicinity of Sunnydale, where they are holding Amy,
creatures from
Amy and whoever the heck was down there with her. Oh, and they think that Amy and this creature,
our boyfriend girlfriend.
No, they think that they survived down there by cannibalism, by eating whoever else was trapped.
Oh yeah, well you know what? She is a rat. She was a rat for a long time, so we can't put anything past her.
All right, so the general dude, he's like not really liking the government PR dude. They do not see eye to eye on this whole situation, and he's like, meh, 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 meh. And so the general dude, he's like, this guy in the suit, he doesn't get what's at stake here. He thinks that magic is like its own special force and we shouldn't be messing with it, but it's dangerous. And we find out that this general dude has the same symbol carved into his chest that those dead dudes in issue 1 had.
Dun
dun dun dun! So anyway, he's all part of the government conspiracy.
Obvi.
It's officially a government conspiracy, right?
Yes, it is, and,
Yeah.
and Buffy's part of it because she's got an army of mess.
So, we pick up Xander and Dawn back in Scotland after Xander has dealt with moody Giant Dawn or I said Xander and Dawn. I meant Xander and Buffy. Whatever.
He doesn't know.
So anyway, they're talking about like, whatever, maybe Dawn made herself a giant on purpose just to get Buffy's attention, and she's like, wow, like, that's unreasonable as
We're really
shit.
talking about Dawn and all her problems here
Yeah.
and these.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's really, we're just doing a lot of Dawn here.
And then so Buffy asks Xander if he's coming to bed. What? And he's like, no, girl. And she's like, I'll be gentle. And so she pulls Xander into her room and she kisses him. But when she does, his head falls off.
Like an android.
And Xander makes these weird comments that don't make any sense, but they're funny. And Buffy is flung out the window because there's this vacuum suddenly. Xander's head has popped off. She's being flung through this window, and outside of the window, she's grabbed by this great big, like, gargoyle-looking monster. It's totally scary. It kind of, like, four-way crucifies her, and then blows fire on her. Not cool.
Like a barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue Buffy.
Yeah.
Buffy Q.
Buffy.
Barba Buff.
Barba Buffy Q.
Buffy Q. We should have stuck there.
Barba Buffy Q is what we're calling it.
And so anyway, we turn the page and we see that this bitch is in a dream spell because the government has sent Amy after Buffy.
Bam.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yeah. And so she goes to stab Buffy in this crazy sleep spell that she's under.
Yeah, and she's tied her up.
And Xander and these other
and
slayers.
the gang.
Yeah, these
over
other
here.
rando slayers that we really haven't met yet. They show up and Amy's like, you're too late. I won. Y'all suck. And she goes to stab Buffy, but like they shoot her in the shoulder with an arrow and she's like, ah, fuck. And Xander's like, oh no, Buffy's dead.
No.
But Buffy ain't dead, y'all. They had magical protections on Buffy because they thought that she might be a target. And so the knife just split in half. And Amy's like, okay, so my initial plan didn't work. Fuck y'all, I got magic. She pulls this arrow out of her shoulder. It's no big deal. And she's like, y'all can't even wake Buffy up. Notice how she's still asleep? I put her under a spell of she can't be awoken unless she gets a kiss of true love.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's what Xander says. He literally says, seriously.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, we pick up with Xander's boo thing that he was flirting with in the command center. And she and this other slayer, they're like on patrol on the balcony. And like they keep the night watch or whatever. And so they're just casually talking while they're keeping a look-see on everything. And this other slayer is kind of taunting, being like, ooh, you have a crush on Mr. Harris.
Ooh. No, I don't.
And so then they hear this like scratching and whatever coming over the building. And whoop-de-doo, there's an army of zombies.
They look pretty hungry.
Amy has summoned an army of zombies.
Way to go, AIM.
Yeah. Yeah, Xander's in charge now because Buffy's unconscious and, you know, Willow's not fucking around. And so he's like, Slayers, go do this. Hold off the zombies. Do this. We need to keep some Slayers here to watch over Amy while I figure this shit out. Okay, so the zombies are coming and they are fucking up the Slayers. Like,
Straight
Slayers.
up.
Our brand new friend Renee, who's pretty much the only Slayer we really know, she got all stabbed with a rusty tetanus infected sword.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not
That's
cute for
pretty-
Renee.
That's pretty bad.
And so like things are not great with the zombie army and the Slayer army. But Buffy, in her dream, is approached by this this voice, and this person off page. Well, his face is off page. Is like, oh, I have so much to teach you, my love. And so like things are not great with like the Slayer army stuff and the zombies, as we said. And Amy's like, oh, y'all don't even know. I'm the most powerful one around, and there's no one in the world with the power to stop me now. And then off page, someone says, as a friend of mine once said, and we flip the page, and there's Willow, and she goes, I'd like to test that theory.
And she looks just as gorgeous as ever.
And that's what Giles said to her when she was kicking Buffy's ass. at the end of season 6, and he showed up and he blasted her with that shit. She was like, "We're the power stop me now." and, like, he came in and he threw her across the room with that lightning, that whatever bullshit.
Yeah, that light.
The green light.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'd like to test that theory." And so Willow's totally bringing it back. And now here's Willow. She's back.
Well, a witch for a witch is what I say, and we'll find it out here in just a second.
So Willow has gone through she's gotten a makeover. I can't really say that it's for the better.
Here she is in
for the rest of the season, we'll see her dressing in like corsets and stuff like this.
Well, she kind of looks like she took 200 years off of her style.
Ooh, that's so poignant, and you don't even know why. Oh my goodness, Planet Earth. That is so poignant.
Oh, I'm so pleased.
Yeah, that's where we end issue 2. And so Willow's back. They think maybe Dawn did this to herself on purpose.
Anyway.
And Buffy's in a dream, and somebody wants to help her in the dream.
Her love.
Well, somebody who's calling her
my
his love.
Yeah, my love.
I love that image of Giant Dawn.
Yeah, she looks so bummed out about life.
Well, we'll find out later why she feels. Oh, how about that cover? Doesn't Willow look the sexiest?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh yes.
She is the bestiest of the sexiest.
All right, so we pick up in The Long Way Home, Part 3, with sexy Willow on the cover, and Buffy's thinking, "Oh, this dude called me my love. What's up with that? Whatever." We turn the page. Buffy is in her dream with Ethan Rayne.
Really?
Yeah.
That guy?
You remember him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the last time we saw him, he turned Giles into a demon, and that was less than fun. Mm-hmm. And the Initiative got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time we saw him. The Initiative took him into custody.
And that was it.
We've never seen him since. So anyway, so Ethan is explaining to Buffy that that because he's like a warlock or what the fuck ever, he is in close proximity to
her subconscious.
Well, to whomever is putting Buffy in this sleep spell. Like he's been around them. Like he's interacted, or like they've been in like a general physical space with him, and he was able to tap into their magics so that he could actually
see what was going on.
Yeah, so he like found his way into what those magics were doing, and he got into Buffy's dream space. And so he's basically saying that her dream space is where all of the dreams that are possible for her to have, including her Slayer dreams, which also something to keep in mind is like these 2,000 girls all over the world that they know about, they're all getting these Slayer dreams. And so at this point, it's almost like they're all having a shared experience. Because like what you do with the Slayer dreams is you experience the other Slayers' memories and lives,
and you're living their memories all at one time.
Yeah, and so
when you go to sleep, you have memories.
You're not even yourself. Like you are yourself, but you're not yourself.
You're envisioning all these other girls around the world in real time. It's not like from the past. It's happening. Right. Like you just went to sleep, and the girl in Rome who may or may not have been murdered.
They never explore this.
Yeah.
They never talk about it. It's so dumb. There are so many possibilities to go with that. Like think about knowing that other Slayers in real time were in danger, and you would know to go and help them.
Enhance that.
That's how the Slayer dreams would work.
That's what I would think would be beneficial for me if someone knew something was going to happen to me and be like, hey.
And so we know that all these Slayers get dreams from Slayers past, like that's established, but they don't have this kind of shared consciousness the way that they ought to, really. And so anyway, he's telling her that she has this dream space that they're in is where all of the dreams that she could possibly have are, including her Slayer dreams, etc., etc. We get this funny page where they walk in on one of Buffy's dreams, and she is chained up between Angel and Spike
threesome with
in a menage a trois, and she's in this like naughty nurse costume, and it's totally crazy. Yeah. And if you look, there's stakes going into the flowers, almost like penises going into vaginas.
Yep, and the train going into the cave.
Exactly.
And look, it's coming in from the other side,
and it's going into an exploding volcano.
Yeah, right there too. One in the front and one in the back.
I didn't even see that one over there. But yeah, all these trains are going to crash and create an exploding volcano. And these little cherubs are all around. It's pretty funny. And Buffy's like, let's leave that dream alone. What's going on out there in the fucking real world? So out there in the real world, we get our first splash page of the issue, and Willow and Amy are battling it out. They're having a great big... Oh, Willow can fly now. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, all of a sudden she can fly.
Willow can fly now.
That's where we... Yeah.
And so Amy's like, oh, you suck, you're so weak, you can't even put up a fight these days. And then we turn the page and we find that Willow wasn't really trying to fight Amy. She was taking in Amy's magic so that she could figure out how to like rework it and reverse it. And so she plays with Amy's magic a little bit and she does something to the zombies. And what she does is she makes the zombies into these like gentlemanly dudes who want to dance with the Slayers.
May I have this dance? May I have this dance is what they're all saying.
And so of course we haven't seen Willow all season so far. And whatever. Xander's like, that's our witch. That's my best friend. That is my best friend in the world. And she's like, oh yeah. She tells Amy, your light show was just a big distraction. And Amy's like, yeah, well, so was the zombie army.
Oh no.
And so Amy does some crazy stuff that makes Willow go all like glitchy. See how it looks like pixelated almost?
Pixelated, yeah, she looks digitized.
And so bad stuff is happening. Amy is more powerful than we thought, it turns out. And so like whatever, we get back into Buffy's dream space with Ethan, and they're basically just kind of like
going through her dream motions, like dreams you would have weird stuff about, like back at high school, you know, waking up naked in your teacher's classroom with all your classmates.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah, and so they're basically like diving through this whole dream space, and like if you see like there's the Master, there's Buffy's textbook that she had written on her book cover, Buffy and Angel Forever. Graduation. There's Angel. Her mom dead on the couch. There's Joss Whedon.
Oh yeah, there he is. What's up, Josh?
And there's Faith, and there's Dawn, and it's basically just like all of the places where your head could go. And so then they find their way, like they get to the bottom of where they need to get to because there's something there that they can use against Amy.
A memory that they need.
Yeah, because when Amy projected her will upon Buffy's dream space, it kind of magically connected Buffy and therefore Ethan in his respect to Amy's dream space. And so there's something that they need from Amy's dream space to beat her, okay?
That nigga gonna pay what he owe.
Okay.
So back in the real world, Willow gets all glitchy, whatever, and then she gets all dark-eyed and crazy and sends this crazy like light show at Amy. And Amy's like, ooh, now that you're dark, I like it. And so so Xander is saying, say it with me, fee, fi, fo. We turn the page and Dawn goes, fucking thumb. And she's stomps on Amy, like giant Dawn just stomps.
Like a
she squishes her like
cockroach,
a bug.
okay? Like a cockroach with that big sneaker.
She's like, fuck you, bitch. Stay away from my Willow.
Get out, get out, get out!
Because
back up on
Dawn's
that.
been patiently anticipating Willow's arrival.
Absolutely. She's waiting for her girl to come through.
So like, Willow's like, why are you a giant? And whatever.
Really talk.
Yeah. And so we pick up back with Buffy, and she is she's basically in a cage. She's in this cage with like straw, and there's this like rat wheel and newspaper in the bottom, and she's like, oh, we're in Amy's cage. Amy is responsible for this because, you know, she doesn't know what's going on.
Yep.
And so then she sees Ethan, and he's in this cage, but it's only a 3-walled cage, and all the walls are X's. And so she sees 3 X's, and she doesn't really know what that means, but she needs to, like, keep that in mind. Oh, Ethan says Twilight is falling, and that's like a dun-dun-dun foreshadowing. Twilight is bad. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. It's bad for me. It's bad for us all. Alright, so, but we don't know what the fuck that means. And so, Xander is like, oh, can't you just undo the spell? And Willow's like, nah, dude, this is actually, like, Amy may be, like, a super shitty person, but she's a pretty good witch. And she laid the spell pretty well, and here's the thing. There's somebody in this room that is in love with Buffy Summers the Vampire Slayer. So everybody's gonna close their eyes, and whoever you are that's in love with Buffy, because, you know, she can magically feel it or what the fuck ever, you need to come forward and kiss Buffy. So everybody closes their eyes, and what do you know? Buffy in her dream space, she's like, I feel like there's something on my mouth, and then like, whoop-de-doo, she wakes up in the real world and she shouts, cinnamon buns. Foreshadowing. So she's like, oh, I just had the weirdest dream. Oh, Willow, you're back. I've missed you.
Hi, honey.
So then we pick up with Giles. So, these demons that were all shacked up with the humans that wanted to be trapped in the church with them, with the force field and whatnot from issue 1, with the crazy symbol carved into their chests that can't be any good news. One of those demons is meeting up with Giles.
Yes.
And
I see that.
so, Giles is talking to this demon and he's like, hey, what's up with this? Why were you doing this? And basically this demon is saying that they were set up, that somebody lured them out there, and they wanted to have this confrontation between the humans and the demons and the Slayers. And that this symbol that Buffy and Xander had sent to Giles to investigate doesn't really mean anything to them, and it's not their problem. But clearly there's some kind of like bigger threat out there that has nothing to do with these fucking demons.
Yeah, that's trying to pit them against each other to make it a distraction.
Right.
Obvious platform, you know, but...
Exactly.
Exactly.
So whatever. Giles is like, we won't fuck with you. You won't fuck with us. It's cool. Whatever. We leave them. So back in Italy, Xander is just trying to check in with Xander to make sure that no witches have come after them and done any crazy sleep spells or anything like that.
Yeah, no one's trying to like kill any of our girls.
Yeah,
right?
so far it's localized just to Scotland. They were going after Buffy specifically.
Yes.
And so we get this joke, because the whole thing is like, Andrew is not necessarily coded as gay, because eventually, like, spoiler alert, Andrew will come out, but spoiler alert! The subtext is that, like, Andrew's a closet gay man, and he's playing strip poker with all of these hot young Slayers, and he's like, oh no, Xander, it's so boring here. You'd be bored stiff.
You'd be bored stiff.
And on this page, one of the Slayers is reading the Frey comic book, and if you look behind you, Frey is a Buffy comic book.
Nice.
Dun, dun, dun. We pick up with Renee, because, she got all stabbed by that rusty tetanus sword.
Yep.
But she's fine.
Alive.
She's going to be okay.
Yeah.
She's going to make it, and she feels super down about herself because she was on watch. It was her responsibility, but Xander says, you know what? You fucked up. That just makes you one of us. Now get over it and heal your ass.
Now watch me.
So anyway, down in the basement, Buffy and Will are, like, catching up for a minute. They're talking about Kennedy. Apparently, Kennedy died for, like, a month.
Just a month?
Yeah.
And came back?
But it was weird. They never really explained, like, what happened to Kennedy or why she died and, like, how she came back. But it was a mystical death, so it was, like, super... We don't know.
Yeah, it says mystical thing.
Yeah. And so, they've got Amy all comatose, and Willow's trying to track her magic and see what's going the fuck on, right?
Get your shit together!
Yeah, Willow and Buffy are talking about Dawn and the giant problems and the Thrice-Wise situation, so anyway...
Bone and a Thrice-Wise. Apparently that's exactly what happened with everything.
Apparently it's not good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but you guys definitely need to say, because...
No, don't spoil it for Tüz. You're gonna spoil whatever you want, because we can't control you.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because Slave Days is over. Anyway, so Buffy and Willow, they haven't seen each other in months, because they couldn't find Willow, obviously, and she was on the astral plane, what the fuck ever. And so they're like, oh, we're best friends, and they start hugging it out. And Xander comes in and he's like, oh, am I missing hug time? Whatever. And then, oh yeah, Xander says something about it being a slow year because he has these, like, lesbian fantasies about Buffy and Willow. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a Xander joke. It's not great, but it's a Xander joke.
I think this is really funny, and I'm going to say it on camera. Of course, according to my parents, the action I'm getting right now should make my last remaining eye go blind.
And Buffy's like, wait, who kissed me?
Yeah.
And it seems like Willow kind of knows, but she doesn't really...
She's like,
let me change the subject, because it looks like whatever I'm trying to do with Amy is working. So
Yeah.
Willow totally glosses over this.
The time has come.
So Amy, she sees where Amy has come from. It's this totally high-tech military installation, whatever. And then, like, whoop-de-doo, it's a trap. Amy was just waiting to get Willow so that she could suck her through a portal, okay?
This will work.
Dum dum dum.
The portal closes. Buffy tried to jump through, but she was too late. Xander calls his slayers. He's like, get down here, we're gonna fix the fucking problem. Whatever. So, Willow is being shackled to this table in the military installation. Don't turn the page yet.
Okay.
So she's been shackled by these like magical shackles. And like the more she tries to use her magic, the more the siphons suck up of her magic. And so Amy's like, ha ha ha, we got you. You fell right into our trap. You're so dumb.
That bitch is gonna get a beat down.
And the other creature that was down there with Amy that we haven't met yet is speaking, and whenever you see the text being like this, all kind of like scary looking and with the jagged stuff,
like yelling.
that means it's kind of in like a demon voice, okay?
Okay.
Or like in a monster voice, whatever.
Okay.
And so he says, killing Buffy Summers is gonna be a party. She's pissed me off more than a little. But you, Rosenberg, you really got under my skin.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Time to get buck wild.
The filet guy.
It's Warren.
Oh, we hated Warren.
He killed Tara.
He killed her.
He killed his
Dead.
girlfriend.
That's the one we were just talking about.
He raped his girlfriend.
Killed and raped.
Yes.
And
He raped and
She's
murdered
really
his
lucky
girlfriend, and
that
then he
all-
murdered Tara, and he murdered Buffy because she died then.
yeah, he thought that gun was just so awesome.
And Willow ripped his skin off.
Yep. And let him live.
Now here's the part where people kind of jump ship. People weren't happy with Warren being alive. So the reason that a lot of people jump ship is because you remember in season 7, the first evil can only take the form of a person who has died. Right. So look at Warren. He's still alive. So people wrote in to slay the critics about this. They weren't happy. Like in the back of these floppies, there's a section called Slay the Critics, and they take fan letters that people send, or like fan emails, what the heck ever, and they publish the ones that they like and the ones that they wanted to like answer the questions for.
Yeah.
And so somebody was like, hey, so if Warren was dead, or if Warren is alive, how is it that the first evil was able to appear to him?
Yeah.
And Joss, he was like, he was dead for a split second.
Yeah, that's it.
The end.
Exactly.
And so, so anyway, like, a lot of people didn't like that. They were like, oh, well, they're jumping the shark. But we will talk about as we get to the end of the season that I think this is very smart on their part. I think it's very smart that
they brought him back in particular.
Yeah, that as we get into issue 4, they can just explain away the fact, oh yeah, and we've got Giant Dawn on the cover.
That is a beautiful, beautiful.
The covers from season 8 are gorgeous.
They are so nice.
Oh, so
I'm
Joe
loving
Chin.
them.
So Joe Chin, she does all of the covers, and George's Genty and I want to say Andy Owens. Yeah, and Andy Owens, they do the art, and then colors are by Dave Stewart in this arc. And we're not really showing the letters, but just for shits and giggles, the letters are by Richard Starkings and Comic Crafts Jimmy. He doesn't have a last name, he's just Jimmy. So anyway, we get back to where she, said bored now and flayed his fucking skin off.
Yep.
And so it turns out that that after Amy had introduced Willow to Rack, and Willow like fell off the deep end and almost got Dawn killed, and she went cold turkey, whatever, right? So after that, she told Amy she couldn't be her friend anymore, especially after Amy dosed her. You remember that one where Amy dosed her? She was like, it's your birthday present. And she gave her that magic, and Willow couldn't control it, and she was like, what the fuck? I'm trying to be sober, whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, no.
So after that, she was like, I don't want to be your friend. You can't be around me. You're kind of a cunt. Don't come around me, or I'm fucking get you.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're not good friends.
And she really didn't like that when Willow came back from having murdered everybody that she murdered. Although we'll find out she didn't murder as many people as we thought.
Yeah, Avi.
Right?
It's pretty clear here now that
So anyway,
it's not what it seems.
so after all of this, like, Amy had been stalking Willow.
Yeah.
When she was like, oh, boo you, I don't want to be your friend anymore, Amy started stalking her, and she was looking for her moment to, like, get Willow or whatever.
Yeah.
So she was stalking Willow, and she saw when Warren was getting flayed. And so right after Warren was flayed, Amy put her magics over his flesh, basically to act as his skin. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so, you remember how, like, after that, he kind of, like, wham bam poofed, flashed away?
Yeah.
So Amy says that was her. But it really kind of doesn't make sense that it would be her.
I don't really I think they're just trying to, like, make him come back.
Yeah, they just need him back.
They just need him back for this particular series.
You remember how, like, Willow in season 7, when she kissed Kennedy, she turned into Warren?
Yeah.
Right. So my headcanon is that it wasn't really a spell that Amy put on Willow and just Willow kind of subconsciously made it happen. Like, she chose her own consequence for it or whatever. I feel like Amy was actively trying to give Warren a human body that had skin. So if you kind of headcanon it that way, it makes sense that Warren had been with Amy since he had been flayed.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So that makes the sense.
Okay, that story makes a lot more sense now.
And so they're gonna torture Willow to death. And they're gonna poke shit in her eye and stuff like this. And Dawn back in Scotland is like, bring her back, bring Willow back. She's punching the side of the castle.
I've only been here for 5.9 seconds. That's all Willow was there for.
Yeah.
Long enough to smash Amy down one time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so Dawn, even though she's a giant, she's not as proportionately strong as she is large. And so that's a problem. So when she's smashing up the castle, she's cutting up her hand, whatever. And Dawn is like, get Willow back. I learned so much from her while you were dead. Like, she was like a mom to me. And Buffy, like, that really kind of hurts Buffy's feelings. But that's not the point. We need to find Willow.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a little while before our witches in Scotland HQ can kind of, like,
reopen this teleport, portal into wherever she's at.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to, like, get it together until then.
And so Buffy's like, all right, Xander, you're coming with me when we do this. And he's like, nah, girl. I love Willow. I love you. She's my best friend. But we gotta think smart. And you need to take your best Slayer with you. Whoever is your #1 girl, go get her. And take her with you. We have to do this the right way. Yeah, and so meanwhile, Willow's getting tortured. Her eye all cut up and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we see that Buffy calls on Satsu. Now, Satsu is one of the girls that was jumping out of the plane, or out of the helicopter with Buffy.
This girl right here?
Yeah, the Japanese girl.
Okay.
And she's also one of the girls in issue 2 that she called upon to kick her ass. Yeah. She's like, Leah Satsu Rowena, come and kick my ass.
Gotcha.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And so we see that she calls upon Satsu. And so, whatever. We see Willow. Well, we don't see Willow. We see these weird, like, women. These, like, totem women. One's like a tree lady, one's a water lady.
Yeah, they are looking like some...
Yeah, they just look like
female
totems.
Chewbacca right there.
There's a Chewbacca lady, there's a math lady, there's a Picasso lady, there's a water lady, and a tree lady.
Monsters happening right here.
So anyway, Buffy is telling Satsu, like, get your best blade. We're going to fucking, like...
Be ready for anything.
Yeah, we're going to the military base. And so the general and his army, or, like, government PR guy, they're talking about, like, how they don't like the torture that's going on in there, and Amy's like, it's cool. They have history. She's kind of a history major with my boyfriend, and you let us do what we want to do, and we won't stop you from doing what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And so Satsu is kind of ashamed. Well, she's got, like, not survivor's guilt, but she feels like guilty because, you know, she has this sisterhood of slayers, and they're all kind of, like, on her level. And she's saying, oh, you know, it should have been one of you guys. And they're like, look, it's cool. Like, we think she might have just picked you because she really liked your hair. But the main thing is, don't embarrass us. Don't make us look bad. Because, like the thing is, they're not like Buffy. As much as Buffy wanted to create something that's like her, she couldn't. Because they don't know what it is to be the Slayer.
No.
They don't have the thing that Buffy has. Like, the same way that Faith doesn't have what Buffy has, of being the Slayer, the only one. They don't have that. They don't know what it's like even to be the other one. Like, they are kind of a unit unto themselves, and they'll never understand where it is that Buffy came from. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's something that we're going to explore through the season. Like, Buffy is the Slayer.
She's the only the reason she's the Slayer is because every time life has gotten her down, it's like, no, you're not done yet. You're coming back up.
Yeah, but
she's the Slayer that won't die. She's like the Terminator version of the Slayer.
Yeah, I mean,
she just keeps coming back.
The Buffinator. She's like, it's like, she knows what it is to be the Slayer. She'll never understand what it is to be like them. They have a network. They have a community. And she created that community, but she can't be a part of it. And that's what she wanted. She wanted to be a part of something. But
she can't be because she's the one.
Yeah.
You can't be a part of something if you're a part of the other part of that something.
Yeah, and that's what she's going to be learning throughout the season. But anyway, so they're getting ready to go into the portal that's going to be open any minute now. And Buffy needs some lip balm, and she asks Satsu if she has any.
I see this.
And Buffy goes, cinnamon.
Tastes like cinnamon.
It tastes like cinnamon. So anyway, we pick up with Willow in her, like, astral dream place that she's going to. She's going to, like, some kind of astral plane.
Yep.
And so she's talking to these, like, women totems, and they're like, you know, you can find refuge here for now, but your physical body is dying. And they show Willow, like, this burning, like, almost hell. And everything, all of these, like, bodies that we see going into, like, this kind of hell situation, they're all, like, possibilities of what Willow could be, but they're all kind of, like, ending now that Willow will end.
Yeah.
And so they ask Willow if she has a plan, right? So we pick up back in the military base, and they are, they're ready for Buffy's team to reopen the portal.
Yeah, they're over there waiting for them to come back and attack so they can swarm the place.
Yeah, and so they've actually got this great big something or other machine.
Atomic gun.
Yeah, they are ready for Buffy and her crew to come through. And so when the portal opens, the government people, like the military, they shoot this laser cannon through. And the Slayers on the other side hold up this great big mirror, and they send the laser cannon back through the portal,
and blow it to smithereens. Blow it to smithereens.
Oh,
like magic.
Yeah,
like magic.
Everybody gets fucked up.
Yeah,
and Xander says that's the thing with magic. It's all mirrors.
It's all done with mirrors. Smoke and mirrors, ladies and gentlemen.
So Buffy and Satsu land in this HQ. What the heck ever, and they go about kicking ass. Like, Buffy has the scythe, she's jumping around, Satsu is holding her own, they are taking out all of these military dudes. It's awesome. Bullets are flying everywhere, but these chicks are in charge, and it looks
kicking
great.
ass and taking names on every page.
I love the way that George's Genty kind of shows action. Like, you get to see not only her jumping, but the flip she does and the landing. It's awesome. Oh, I love it.
Now watch me.
And so So Buffy and Satsu and the laser cannon have fucked this place up, and everybody is laying around dying. And Buffy's like, all right, the thing is, there's one person in this building that can heal you all. So lead us to her right now. So
This is better than pay-per-view.
So Xander's watching Buffy and Satsu as they go through deeper into the HQ, whatever. And of course, they come upon Amy. And Amy is making this, like, magical monster situation, whatever.
Something.
And so they're like... so we pick up back with Willow, and these ladies, they're like, oh, you know, you're about to die. Are you afraid? And Willow goes, did I ever tell you about my best friend? And we see that Willow's holding this kind of, like, laser sword situation. And then in the real world, Buffy is talking about how, like, you know, Willow and I, even when we're apart, we're never really apart. We're always together. And we see that Willow from the astral plane has imbued Buffy with this, like, magical shield and gauntlet
on my mark
that she is using. Yeah. Like, Willow is using her power through Buffy on the physical plane.
She imbued her with power.
Yeah, and it's
from
crazy.
the other side.
And because of what Buffy learned in her dream space, she saw that Amy's mother, the witch who was inhabiting her body when she was a teenager when we first met her, was her deepest fear. And it shakes Amy up long enough for Satsu to throw a grenade and blow the shit out of Amy's, like, concentration or whatever.
Yeah, she kaboom.
Do you want me to get naked and start the revolution?
So Amy's like all fucked up, and then Buffy crashes in. She sees Warren, and Warren's like, you. And Buffy's like, who the fuck are you?
You? Who?
And so, of course, Amy and Warren escape through a portal, but then Buffy goes to the, recently being tortured to death Willow. But Willow's okay. You know.
She's totally okay. Her eyes fine.
Yeah, she magically healed herself. It's totally
it's
cool.
all good.
And and so they are kind of like talking back and forth about all these soldiers and stuff. And Buffy's like, Willow's like, I don't know if I can heal all these guys completely. And Buffy's like, well, I told them that we would heal them. I didn't tell them that they wouldn't be ferrets.
Yeah.
And so Buffy, she saw Ethan in that cage of X's, like with 3 X's around him. And so she sees this door numbered 30, and she's like, oh, Ethan, that must be where you are. Found you, bitch.
There we go.
And so she bursts through the door, and Ethan has been shot through the head. Like somebody killed Ethan before he could give any information to Buffy. And it's the general dude. So the general dude killed Ethan, and Buffy, he goes to shoot Buffy too. Like he straight up goes to shoot Buffy and Willow and Satsu. Buffy throws him up against the wall, and she's like, what's wrong with you? What's your thing? And he's like, you. He's like, Twilight's fucking coming. It's coming. And you and all your Slayer bitches, you're all gonna die. And she's like, oh, I see what it is. You don't like women being in power. You don't like women having power and being able to do whatever the fuck we want.
Just a hater.
Power. I have it. They don't. This bothers them.
Just a hater.
And he's like, nah, dude, you don't get it. It's not about you being women. It's about you having way more power than any person should ever have. And the thing is, we know that your power tells you to go and kill demons. But we also know that your power comes from demon. And so at the end of the day, once you kill all the demons, since you have an army of slayers now, eventually that drive in you to kill is going to be like, well, just kill. And you're going to make the world the way you want it to be. And you won't decide that there's a line between human and demon because you have a superior race. They basically, he's like, it's not just men and it's not just us. The demons and the humans, we're all against you. You're not in a war against men, you're in a war against the human race.
Oh my god.
Because basically they think that Buffy might turn into Hitler. And so Buffy's like, oh. And you can see this transition on her face. She's like, oh shit. She's like, oh. Okay. And then she kind of thinks about it and she says, okay.
Alright, that's where we're going.
And that's where we end
That's
the
where
long
we
way
left.
home.
I'm done.
Thoroughly enjoyed the first 4.
So what do you think so far? Like, do you have any theories about what's going on, or?
Right now, I think that she is once again going to triumph over all, as she always does. Every time she overcomes an obstacle, she gets upset about it for like 2 seconds, and then she's like, you know what? I don't have time for this.
That's life.
I've got to move on with my life.
Yeah.
And we've got to move on with this video.
So anyway, next we will be getting into issue number 5, The Chain. It is my favorite issue, probably of the entire, maybe not of the entire run, because I really love Freaky Giles Day.
But definitely season 8.
Yeah, definitely season 8. It's my number 1 issue.
He won't stop talking about it. I
it's
can't
so
wait
good.
to talk about it.
And after that, guess who we're gonna pick back up with?
Who are we gonna pick up back up with?
Faith, the Vampire Slayer. Oh yeah.
You ready?
So there's a whole 4-issue arc just about Faith.
Nice.
But of course, it's not going to be just about Faith, because it can never be just about Faith, because what does it always come down to?
Buffy.
This bitch. So you never told me who your favorite character is.
Oh, we already said, I said Spike, remember?
Oh, well, you just said that you like Spike.
Oh, yeah, Spike.
But I thought
Spike's my favorite,
I thought that you were saying, oh, he's not necessarily my favorite, but I like him.
But no, he's definitely my favorite. I thought about it this whole time, and I haven't seen him yet, so I'm going to stick with Spike, because I feel like there's a lot more to come for him.
Well, spoiler alert, you won't see Spike for a very long time.
Really? Well, you know what? He's worth waiting for.
Well, we did get the sexy flashback issue, or like dream.
Yeah.
We got the sexy dream.
We got the threesome going on where she's stuck in the middle as usual.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Did you notice my book? Did you notice this?
Yes, I did.
This is what happens when you leave your books laying down when Sophronia is a baby. Sophronia
and she's
ate up my book. She chewed the shit out of this book. I was so pissed.
I bet you were so
And this
pissed.
is like a year ago. Like probably to the fucking
and
day.
you're still like thinking about it. You're like,
well, you know, that's why I have the book jacket. Whatever.
Yep.
But
That's
I
why it's
just like
there.
this. Buffy's my favorite. That's what I was gonna say. Buffy's my favorite. She's my favorite. I love her. I'm in love with Buffy.
She's the best.
She's the best, and she hates herself for being the best because she just wants to be an ordinary girl.
But she can't ever be an ordinary girl. That's her
poor
problem.
Buffy. Oh.
And Spike, he's just stuck loving her for eternity. Or something.
So anyway, Amanda, if you want the people to find you, where can they find you? I called you Amanda.
Oh, you gave away my trade secret.
Oh, I just call her Tüz. Her name's Amanda. I wish it weren't, but...
I don't know. I don't have Twitter or anything.
You don't have Twitter? You don't do Snapchat? You don't do Instagram or any of that?
Snapchat?
I mean, you don't have to reveal if you don't feel comfortable.
I do have
with
Snapchat.
strangers.
Hold on, I have to look at my name.
Well, anyway, you can come right back here to the Buffyngton Post anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, more history buff. We'll be going through all of the comics, all of them. We'll be going through all of them, so you can all catch up with Tüz, and you didn't seem to have too many questions about what's going on, so...
Oh, my Snapchat name is AMA, the number 2, and the letter Z. Z is in zebra. And I really didn't have a lot of questions. Oh, there's a lot much more to process. I guarantee you I'm going to have some more when we come back because I get to think about it. And I just really kind of got to learn with it as we were going through this video.
It's really just like an information overload.
Yeah, I mean, so much happened. And it's just like, Dawn's huge, Willow's back, and then she was gone for a second and then back again. And we haven't seen Spike yet. We haven't seen Angel yet.
Those floaty boots.
I want to know what's going on with
floaty
boots. And where is the government coming to play? Why are they here?
How did Buffy
More importantly,
get to have this great big army? How is she funding it?
Yes, exactly. And why is the army coming after her? We understand it's for the human race, but this Twilight situation doesn't seem like it's just this singular location. It's a worldwide issue, and I'm really excited to check this out.
You're so intuitive.
Am I really?
You really are.
Thank you. I
You're
try so
on it
hard.
like white on my ass, man.
Oh my god, I can't help myself.
Like we were talking about the Westworld earlier, and I was like, "You're totally right. You just don't understand how it all works."
I'm there. I'm at the end point. I just don't know the long game.
This chick, don't underestimate this chick.
One does.
Anyway, Planet Earth, I hope you're having a great 2018 so far, everybody. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, question. And yeah, have a great day, and we'll see you next time on another History Buff. Bye.
It's called hysteria, the world premiere. We dare ya to watch hysteria. Prepare ya for hilaria. They love it in Bulgaria, hysteria. We declare ya, be aware ya. The laughter's gonna bury ya, we swear ya. It's hysteria. Get set for hysteria. We're racing through time in search of comedy. We're gonna make fun of history with superstars from every century. Here on hysteria, it's hysterical, historical. Here's Nick Guy Bailey, he smells horrible. With Father Time, Love Kiddington. Misinformation, world's oldest woman. Mixed toast and pepper with charity. And Froggo and the others get hilarity. Revolutionary, it's time for hysteria. Hysteria.
I kind of caught that as you were saying it, and we're gonna do it now.
All right.
My BF. 730.
Are you comfortable? Do you have
I'm
enough
just
space?
trying to get comfortable. How do I look?
Amazing
Like
as
a nerd.
always.
Like a nerd, like a square.
Well, if you are a nerd, you must look like one, because that's what nerds look like. No matter what we look like, planet Earth. Alright. When Tüz is done grooming,
I'm so socially awkward. Doesn't even matter.
hello, Editor Preston.
Okie dokie.
Editor Preston spends a lot of time here.
I bet Editor Preston. Hey, look, I know it looks like a tough night, but you are going to push through, and then you're going to message me, and you're going to say thanks for the pep talk.
I think I can speak for Editor Preston when I say I really appreciate that.
Look, you're going to need all the help you can get, but look, just know I'll be here with you.
In spirit.
Because I won't be here.
No, she won't.
But in the heart. Hello.
Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young.
I'm Amanda Miano.
Now, you should speak up a little bit because I'm so loud that
Okay.
that's why. Because I mean, my voice is loud like naturally, so it's why it's so loud when I'm Editor Preston.
Okay. Sorry. All right.
Oh, no, you're totally fine.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Anyway, 3, 2. Oh my gosh, here I go. Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young.
And I'm Amanda Miano.
Now, if you hear me refer to Amanda Miano as Tüz, it's because I haven't always known her as Amanda Miano. So Tüz will therefore be acceptable in our videos.
Absolutely, that's how I go. That's just my slave name.
Womp womp.
I think we should really start over. Because that was horrible.
Why don't you do the Hello Planet Earth with me?
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not realize. I kind of caught that as you were saying it. And we're going to do it now.
Alright.
Okay.
We're gonna do it right now.
Okay.
Hello.
No, we're going to do... Okay? So that way, because you know it better than I do.
This is totally gonna be my
We're
blooper
doing
reel.
Hello Planet Earth, right?
Okay.
That's it.
So you're gonna go like this. You're gonna totally...
Okay. 3. Hello,
Hello.
Planet Earth.
I do a beat.
Oh, are we saying that together or just history buff?
Just history.
I'm so sorry, Editor Preston.
And so he says, okay, test for sound and motion. So of course,
and motion. Editor Preston, you're still doing great. We love you.
We love you, Editor Preston.
I know it's like 3 a.m. Don't judge me.
People weren't happy with Warren being alive. I have to be.
Nice. This is our last comment too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed?
Yes, this is fun.
Oh my god, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
Alright. Anyway, Planet Earth, I hope you're having a great 2018 so far, everybody. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, question. Have yourself a great day today. We'll see you next time on another
Buffyngton Post.
History Buff.
Oh, sorry. Let's do that again. Sorry, Editor Preston. Okay.